Cancer, what's happening? What is good? What it do? Time for our weekly check-in. Let's see what's going on with y'all for the second week of June. Yes, I'm doing individual weekly check-ins now, and I'm cramming that into the mix of everything else that I'm doing. So this is just going to be a short, sweet, quick, general energetic overview. It's not going to be like the bonus readings where I dig into the different situations and scenarios and all that good stuff. Just short and sweet. Take it if it resonates, chuck it if it don't. You know the deal, right? Anywho, for those of you who are in need of a personal reading, the information is in the description of the video. And if you missed the memo, I do have an important announcement to make about the courses, okay? This was actually unexpected. This was the last thing that I expected to happen. But we're switching platforms, okay? We just found out that the platform that my courses are on, Teachable, is tripling their monthly service fee. Tripling. Not just raising it a little bit, not just doubling, but tripling their monthly service fee. So we're switching platforms. Been looking for a reason to do that anyways, and this was a good enough reason. So right now, until June 9th, I have a bundle for all 7 courses. The courses that I have are How to Read the Tarot, Part 1 and 2, How to Attract Your Life Partner, Finding Your Life's Purpose, Manifesting Financial Abundance, The Steps to True Healing, and The Beginner's Guide to Manifestation. Those are the courses that I have in my school right now. So if you purchase a course, you have access to it permanently. But if you don't, before June 9th, after the 9th, I have no idea when they're going to be back up. We got to get all that video footage and put it all on a different platform and set it all up, and that can be a long, drawn-out, painstaking process. I have no idea when they're going to be back up after that. But I am working on a new one, and hopefully the goal is to have that out either in June or July. So the link for that is in the description. Remember, we got till June 9th, and they're going bye-bye until I don't know when, honestly. I can't even give you a rough estimation. So, okay, let's jump into this now. Let's see, let's get a general energetic overview of the situation you're dealing with and how this person that you're dealing with is feeling. Short, sweet, quick, general energetic overview of Cancer's situation and how the person you're dealing with is feeling. Let's see. Ooh, shit, 2 of Swords reversed. Kind of looking like this person is making a final decision. Whatever decision that they have made up to this point, it's looking like they pretty much got their mind made up. Let's see what that would be. 2 shuffles for the 2 of Swords. There's 1 and 2. Ooh, the 6 of Wands, Judgment. King of Wands. Man, and the 2 of Wands reversed. Wow, okay. So, the 2 of Swords and the 2 of Wands are basically the air and fire version of the same thing. So, the 2 of Wands is about having a decision to make and not knowing which decision to make. I'm sorry, this is the 2 of Swords. Forgive me. The 2 of Wands is about being at a crossroads and not knowing which path to take. So they're pretty much the same thing, and they both came out reversed in this person's energy. It's looking like they got their fucking mind made up. And it's kind of looking like they're choosing to explore other options. That's what it's looking like. And, I mean, there could be a specific third party in the mix for some of you. But with the 3 of Swords and the 7 of Cups, it don't really look like they're trying to settle down with anybody right now. There may be one specific person, but it doesn't look like they're trying to settle down. So, yeah. Now, whatever it was that happened between the two of you, they're still heartbroken. You don't got to be a rocket scientist to figure out what's going on in this card right here. This card does not represent having a good time. Let's just put it like that. So, and the Three of Cups, a lot of third-party energy in here. A whole lot. A whole lot. Now, I always have to say this, and it seems like no matter how many times I say this, some people just don't hear me say it, but I got to say it anyways. I'm not allowed to spy on the close personal details of somebody else's personal private life. There are a very few exceptions to that. But very generally speaking, especially if this is somebody you're in separation with, 99% of the time, what they're doing in their personal life, I'm not allowed to spy on it. You know, every now and then there's an exception. Every now and then. But I can tell you this much, though. Looking at the energy coming off of this person, it does look like there is a specific individual they do have their eye on. Are they with them? I don't know. Are they fucking them? I don't know. Don't know. Not allowed to look. Well, let's see. What are their deepest feelings for you? Their truest, deepest feelings, energies, and intentions. Karmic wheel in the upright. So, for those of you who have been on and off with this person, I know that's not all of you, but if you've been on and off with this person, I feel like they want to put an end to the karmic cycle. And again, there's a Seven of Cups again. They want to explore other options. I don't think they're trying to settle down with anybody right now. Kind of looks like they just want to go off, be on their own, isolate, do their own thing, and just, for the most part, not really bring anybody into their life. So it's looking like to me. That's how it's looking to me. So they are holding on to some bitterness. I don't know what happened here, but they're a little bit bitter, a little bit pissed off. Yeah. So I think, though, that at the deepest level, if for a minute they thought that the two of you had a chance at reconciling successfully, they would probably be up for it. But for some reason, I don't know why. I don't know if you've just been on and off with this person, or maybe if you just said something or seriously broke their trust, or if they're just projecting their own shit onto you. I don't know, but it's looking like they're leaning pretty heavily into the thought that it just ain't happening. Some of you dealing with an Aquarius. I also have Aries, Sagittarius, Virgo, and Pisces. Could be anybody. Those are just energies. All right, well, let's get the advice. What's the advice for Cancer? So how many of you bought the How to Read Tarot course? How many of you bought that? This is the deck that I used in both parts of that course. This one right here. That's why I'm never getting rid of it. Y'all know that periodically throughout the year, usually once, sometimes twice a year, I'll throw some of my old used tarot decks on eBay. And this is one of the few that I'm never getting rid of. Don't know if you care, but yeah, that's what this deck is. All right. What's the advice? Boom. Queen of Cups reversed. So for some reason, it's telling me to tell you to be very careful about what you let this person know about how you feel. Hang on, let me see what else comes through. I wonder why. Temperance reversed. Okay. So like I said, they are a little bit spiteful. I do think that they are holding on to a little bit of bitterness, a little bit of negativity. And if you carelessly let this person know exactly how you feel about certain things, they'll probably give in to temptation and use that to their advantage and fuck with you. Play mind games with you and shit, you know? So, death card in the upright. Well, I tell you what I would do if I was you. Tell you what I would do. Did I just give this advice to Gemini? I gave this advice to somebody. Maybe it was a client earlier today. I don't remember. I would dedicate the rest of 2025 to nothing but healing. So fucking hardcore that the next time this person sees you, they don't recognize you. I'm telling you, think about that. Could you imagine what it would be like if you and this person came together and their jaw was on the floor because you're such a different person? How would that feel? That's a really good feeling, I'm telling you. That's on my list of my favorite feelings in the world. When somebody thought they knew you, especially if they're looking down their nose at you, you know, looking down their nose at you, thinking they're better than you. You know, I'm going to move on. I'm going to find somebody better than you and this and that and whoop, whoop, whoop. Okay, well, guess what? I'm going to dedicate my life to making sure that one of these days you're going to look at me and you're going to feel like the dumbest fuck. You're going to be like, that's what I missed out on? That's what I could have had? Oh, shit. Damn it. But you know what the funny thing is? This is where it becomes kind of paradoxical. Is that by the time that day comes, most of the time, yes, they'll be regretful. There's a very good chance that they'll try to see if you'll welcome them back into your life. But once you've done that much healing, most of the time when that time comes, you're going to be like, nah, I'm good. Nah, I'm good. I'm good. It's not guaranteed. It's just understanding the energetic properties of how to heal, which for those of you who bought the Steps to True Healing course, you should hopefully have a good idea of what that process is. You're able to look back on anything that happened to you in the past and see a sense of meaning. So when you look back on a situation from your life, no matter how painful it was, no matter how hurtful it was, and you feel a sense of purpose and meaning with that experience, I see the meaning behind why that happened. It happened the way it was supposed to happen. The likelihood that you're going to want to try to revisit the past and do things differently is just very slim. I suppose you could, but let's not get ahead of ourselves. Cross that bridge when you get to it. That's what I would do if I was you. I'm telling you, you don't know how good that feeling is, dude. You don't know how good that feeling is. And I know it's hard. It's hard because it's really, really easy. And we humans, we do this all the time. We get stuck in this mindset that the way things are right now are the way things are always going to be. You know, this right here, right now, when you think into the future, you aren't even thinking about things being different than they are now. So when you're at rock bottom and you're hurting, and the person you're dealing with looks like they're just out floating around on cloud nine, having a good old time, and they're happy, It just feels like, well, this is what it is then. I'm just going to be hurting for the rest of my life, and they're just going to be happy for the rest of their life. Uh-uh. Uh-uh. No, no. No, no, no. Especially if they done ran off and jumped into something with somebody new. You know, you ain't going to heal that fast. You are not going to be in a vibrational state when you jump from one person to the next that's going to lay a solid foundation with anybody. That's a house of cards they're building. Okay? I promise you, those tables will turn. If you can be patient and let them go off and have their little fun, and you do the hard work now, I promise you, it's just a matter of time. It's not if, it's when. That little house of cards that they built is going to crumble. Telling you. 9 times out of 10, that little house of cards, when somebody jumps straight into something new and it looks like they're all happy and having a good time, you fart too loud and that house of cards is going to crumble. And you'll be at the top of the actual mountain. See, they built a little mountain out of cards. You're going to climb the actual mountain. And in that, one of my favorite feelings in the world. Not a whole lot of feelings beat that, from my experience. So, all right, let's shift gears now. Let's see if anything new is coming in for the singles in the second week of June. Anything new coming in for the singles? Ooh, Emperor reversed. And the 2 of Wands. Well, I do think there is somebody that's interested in you. There's somebody that's interested in you, but I think they're a little bit too shy or insecure, you know, and they got their guard up. Very shy, very insecure. So I don't know. It's hard to say if they're coming forward with a love offer. It's hard to say. You know, they may be a little bit intimidated by you. And so with that 2 of Wands there, they're not really making a decision. It honestly doesn't really look like they're coming forward with a love offer. They're too shy. They're too intimidated, you know. And most of the time when somebody is shy or intimidated like that, what does that have to do with? Something from the past, right? Could be an Aries for some of you. Also have Taurus and Cancer. Could be a fellow Cancer. Could be anybody. Those are just energies. Well, that was short, sweet, and quick. Let's get the advice then. What's the advice for the singles? What is the best advice for my single Cancers? Well, okay. So I think this advice is mainly geared towards those of you who know exactly who I'm talking about. That may not be all of you. It may only be a couple of you. But even if you don't know who I'm talking about, take this with you on your journey, because you're bound to find yourself in this position at some point. When you are dealing with somebody who's like really interested in you and they're shy, they're insecure, they're afraid of abandonment, they're afraid of rejection, you would think that, well, okay, cool. If you're too shy to approach me, shit, I'll just approach you. Careful with that. Careful with that. Because when somebody is insecure, getting into a relationship, especially a relationship with somebody that they hold in high regard, somebody they put up on a pedestal, somebody that they feel like is way out of their league. Some people may think that that would make them feel better about themselves, right? Oh no. Oh no, no. that will make you feel so much more insecure. And I get it. I've been there when I was much, much, much younger. I remember when I was 20. Yeah, about 20. I'm 37 now. This is a long time ago. I had no self-confidence, no self-esteem. I was so insecure, and I started dating somebody that, in my mind at the time, was so far out of my league. You know, she was one of them girls that you'd walk into a room and every head would turn like, whoa. You know, she was a very, very pretty girl, and you would think that that would make me feel better about myself. Oh no! Oh no! Oh, I couldn't sleep at night. I could not sleep at night. I mean, why in the fuck does she want to be with me? There is no way that she is going to choose to stay with me when she can have anybody else she wants. She turns every fucking head in every room that we walk into. There ain't no way she's going to stay with me. I couldn't sleep at night. So you know what? I sabotaged the shit out of that. I did. You know? So I'm speaking from experience. When you got somebody that's that insecure, be careful. I know that your first thought would be, well, I want to help build you up. I want to be a voice of encouragement. You know, I want to try to lift you up and try to make you feel better about yourself. And I'm not saying don't do that. What I'm saying is you can do all of that. You can be a voice of reason. You can be an ear to listen, a shoulder to lean on, a voice of encouragement, validation, reassurance. You can do all that until your face turns blue and you bend over backwards until your back breaks. That is only going to contribute to maybe 10% of their self-esteem. If you're lucky. I'm being real generous when I say that. If they don't choose to see themselves that way, there's nothing you can do. They have to choose to see themselves that way. They have to choose it. You know how long it took me to start seeing myself as a valuable individual? Till I was 30, 31. It's hard. And it took work. I didn't just wake up one day and say, I'm good, I'm confident now. Hell to the fuck no. It took work. So you got to think, your average person out there who's not an energy worker, they don't do inner work, they don't know how to heal, they don't know how to release their insecurities, they don't know how to heal their trauma. A lot of people get stuck in that their whole lives. Their whole life. So all I'm saying is, and again, I think this is mainly directed towards those of you who know who I'm talking about. But even if you don't, you're bound to find yourself in that position at some point. Just be careful with that. Be careful with that. You know, be picky and choosy, allowing people into your life who have a very negative opinion of themselves, who, you know, especially if they're addicted to sympathy, don't get sucked into that. Don't get sucked into that. Oh no. I'm going to do everything I can to lift you up. I'm going to give you all the validation, all the reassurance I can. But if you're just getting addicted to it and getting high on it, and you're constantly shooting me down, and you're constantly fishing for validation, you know, no matter what I tell, I ain't playing that fucking game. All right, then. Get away from me, then. No, I ain't playing that game. I ain't playing that game. You know, I'm not here to just blow your head up while you get high on it and waller in your self-pity and constantly throw pity parties and boo-hoo, poor pitiful me. Nah, not playing that game. You can either get to work on undoing some of these issues and at least trying to shift your focus to raising your self-esteem, or I'm out. Not playing that. Careful with that. Okay? All right, well, I feel like those were the messages that my Cancerian family needed to hear, so I am going to go ahead and end this video here. Thanks again for tuning in and playing along. Don't forget the information for personal readings is in the description. And for those of you who missed the memo, I said this at the beginning of the video, but now there's more people tuned in, so I have an important announcement to make about the courses. Okay, this was very unexpected, but we are completely changing platforms. So between now and June 9th, we have a bundle for all 7 courses. After June 9th, they're all going bye-bye. And I have no clue when we're going to have them all back up. Because we just found out that the platform that we have our courses on is tripling the monthly service fee. So we're changing platforms. The courses that I have available, I'm gonna read them to you. There's 7 of them. How to Read the Tarot, Part 1 and 2. How to Attract Your Life Partner. Finding Your Life's Purpose. Manifesting Financial Abundance. The Steps to True Healing. And The Beginner's Guide to Manifestation. Those are the courses that I have available thus far, and I am working on a new one behind the scenes. I hope to have that ready in June or July. If you've purchased a course before June 9th, you'll have access to it permanently. But if you haven't, after June 9th, they're going bye-bye, and I have no idea when they'll be back up. I don't know. It's usually a really long, painstaking process to put one course together. On the new platform we're going to be using, though, I don't know yet. We don't know. I would love to be able to have them all up by the end of July, but don't hold me to that. It could be 4 or 5 months. I don't know. So, anywho, all the information is in the description. Information for everything you need. Personal readings, my social medias, Facebook, Instagram, all that good shit. All right. All right, y'all. I'm out of here now. I will see you sometime between now and the rest of all eternity. Stay blessed.